Righto, let's do a recap. 2 bolts removed this from here. 2 more bolts removed this bit from here. It was, I'll put them in backwards. That goes over there. Oh no, I didn't. That goes over this. Those bolts go through. So they're the 2 things that I've, 4 bolts and the you could say, well, that's a slave cylinder. That whole unit would be the slave cylinder. You've got 2 pistons, not 4. You have 2 pistons. So you got a twin slave cylinder. And then so that was 4 bolts. To access these, you got to take the bearing cap off. Only because you can't get a socket past there to get to there. Now, I have suspicion that to get this off, I need to get the bearing out. That's from when I packed the bearings last time, right? See, I can't remember this stuff. I'll get back to you, but I'll undo those bolts, and if you don't come out, I'll know why. I know this disc will let go of this hub, but this disc is riding on this hub. Yep, this disc is attached to the hub. The hub needs the bearing taken out the front. So you gotta pull the bearings, which it's you got the bearing and it's kept in there, and a mate of mine made a special tool. It was his dad who made it. If I remember right, you undo that screw, and one, 2, there's some screws in there anyway, I think. And that takes this off, I believe. I'll tell you the sequence in a sec. After I've messed around here and done this, I'll tell you what I did. Righto, so stay tuned. Right, I was starting to get excited, and I thought, no, I'll stop and do a recap. What I'm holding in my hand is a disc, watch-alike thing with marks, to which I've never really used, but it's got threads on the inside. Have a look. That's your axle. That's a bearing, and this guy is ready to come off. See, this has multiple holes in it. This has 2, well, it's got 3 places a screw can go, and I only had 2 screws, so I'll find a 3rd screw. That would have been last time I did the job. Yeah. This has a lot of positions where, as you adjust your bearings, you try and get to the next, you pack your bearings, you get to the next position, which if you look in here, once you get to the position, then put those screws in. This doesn't turn at all. This turns on the shaft doesn't turn, this ring doesn't turn, this ring puts tension on the bearing, this loads up the bearing, then this ring here, the screws go in the ring, and the ring have those tabs in here to stop your bearings working loose. And if you do need to put a bit more, adjust your bearings a bit more, you take this retaining clip off, you would turn that clockwise, which would make it do that. it would end up there, which is actually a very good idea. Very good. So I showed you that. This is coming off now. Those bearings are coming out. I'll repack those bearings. This is just coming off, but I need 2 hands to do this. But that's moving. It's coming off. I can put this disc on the bench, get those bolts out, and install this hub on the new disc. And go from there. That's all that was. Moment of truth. I can use the other pads for a week while I, I've got to go to work to get the, go to work, then come back and get me pads. But will these fit? If these fit, I'm happy. I didn't test fit that, you just witnessed me put those on. Yes. I didn't just check that before, I did that right there and then for you to see. Torque spec. Oh, I'm sure there's something somewhere out there. I'll make sure to do a crisscross pattern and gradually tighten them. It'll be with a rattle gun. Gradually. If I can finger up all these, I'll be happy. I'm very certain. In fact, I've got no doubt now that she's right. That's all I needed to see anyway. Because this will go back on like this. I will show you how to repack your bearings. There's probably a lot of different ways, but I'll show you the method which my mate showed me, and it took me a lot of practice to get it right-ish. And I'll show you what I do. I don't know if the TF in the like, that's a seal. Probably for the TF. But I don't know if the bearings are the same. Probably not. Hang on. Look, I'll keep the bearings. They'll fit that. Well, they sent me TF pads, so they've probably sent me TF bearings too. If they aren't the same as mine, they'll be for Dad's, and I'll keep it for Dad's ute. Tell the seller, mate, you're an idiot. You wasted me time, blah blah blah. My bearings weren't showing any sign. Now they're all finger tight, so that's good. Let's have a look. Don't grab the disc if you've got grease all over your hands. Beautiful. Clean up inside there, blah blah. Yeah, I'm happy. That's why you got that brake disc you got in the mail had threads. I'm sitting there going, oh geez, what is it? That's what it is. Don't stress. That's what that caper's for. Now let me just slap this all together. Well, no. I'm going to look at a few things with these bearings, and then I'll show you how to repack one of them. Not too bad. Like, I'll get one of those pads, those old pads. I still have plenty of life in them. Oh, that one. You want to look this way. They are worn in a funny shape. Look at that. Now, I've heard of people Ooh, that's weird. That's a very strange wear pattern. These weren't wearing straight. I could be taking my dad's car to work. Yeah. You can shave these flat and use them on a linear shirt. But hang on. Asbestos and stuff. I don't know what's in these, but I've heard the stories. I've seen people do it. I might just do that to get me to work. And it might only, because it might only be for, if I don't work back on Monday, I won't knock back overtime. The day that I don't do overtime, I'll get these, bring them back out here and bloody do them. But, yeah, I'm at the stage now where I don't want to put those back on. They're smooth. They could be machined, I guess. Let's look at the back of them. Yeah. I think someone put the... I don't know, they look cheap. They done the job. But... Ooh, hello. What is that? Grease from my finger, I guess. You really got to look at these. There's a massive lip there, which is hard to show you. Now, if you don't know what the minimum you're allowed to shave them down to is, apparently this is an indicator. This, okay, this tapered edge would be one. Apparently, but it's an old disc. You can't see how much stresses it's had. Yeah, you can machine them. I choose not to. In fact, they'd still be alright. So, a good home will be found for them. I won't use them again. But, yeah, there's a RA Rodeo, Colorado, buy, swap and sell on Facebook. Free to good home. You machine them. The convenience there is they machine this disc, then go home, do the swap that night, go to work the next day. They can take their old discs in to a shop to get machined, and then put those aside for when they need to change them over again. You know, they're not worth shit, but they could help someone out who's tight for money, can afford to machine them, can't afford a decent pair of discs, or whatever the circumstances are. So I'm a bit like that. I'll help people. Back to it, I suppose.